Shalom, shalom. I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakadash, double honor to the others in the apostle of Great Millstone, and enough respect to the brothers that are out there pushing and spreading the truth, which is the gospel of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai to the folks of the world. Now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, just wanted to do a quick video, and this isn't meant to be very, very deep. This is meant to just bringing out a piece of information so that you can better understand the problem that Yahushua had with these Pharisees. Okay, and it's mainly going to narrow in on divorce, and like I said, it's not going to be too deep. So the title of this video is "The Leaven of the Pharisees." So before we begin, I just want to bring out Matthew chapter 16 from verse 6. It says, "Then Yahushua said unto them," let me make sure I'm sharing my screen. "Then Yahushua said unto them, Take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees." Right? And jump down to verse 12. It says, "Then they understood how that he bade them not beware of the leavened bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and the Sadducees." One of the doctrines, there was a man, right? His name was this is his name, Bet Hillel or something like that. I don't even know what it is, but he was a rabbi around the time of the first centuries, around Yahushua's time, and he has certain things to say about divorce, and the manner in which he interpreted Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 3. Let me see. Nope. That is different. Let me just get it right now. The manner in which he interpreted Moses' law is like, it's amazing, because this dude was going straight off and he was teaching it like a religion, to the children of Israel. And, he was causing a lot of people to, he was causing, when you read of the way he interpreted these laws, it's, let me just get it from here. It's amazing, and you can better understand that this man, these kind of teachings were causing a lot of problems in Israel. They were strangling Israel with these customs and tradition that were totally unnecessary and that were based on something that was completely wrong. Let me see. Yeah, just get it right now. Right, Deuteronomy chapter 24. Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 1, it says, "When a man taketh a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he has found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorce and give it in her hand and send her out of his house." This is it. This was the law. And this man right here, Bet Hillel or something like that, he totally ran off with it. He butchered the scriptures and turned it into something. He made it into madness, to the point where he was teaching Israel that if your wife even burns your food, or if your wife put too much salt in your food, you can divorce her. And that was the kind of teaching that these Pharisees were doing. That's why Yahushua said, "What? Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees." All right. Let me just get back to it. Matthew chapter 19, starting from verse 1. It says, "And it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came into the coast of Judea beyond Jordan. And a great multitude followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female?" And this point, Yahushua is explaining, how, marriage isn't just some light thing that a man and a woman does. It's a heavy thing. And he said this because, like I said, these Pharisees were interpreting the law, and they were making the law. They had no respect for the law, and they were causing a lot of people to go off, and sin. So he says, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder. And they said unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement, and put her away? And he said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. Right? Because, I don't have to sit here and explain to you how incapable we are of not sinning, because like Yahushua said from the beginning, Yahushua made marriage to be between a man and a woman, a union, and it was to be like that forever. But because we were incapable of not sinning, we had it to where, okay, now a divorce is part of our life. A divorce is incorporated into our lives. Shalom to all the Akims in the comment board. Shalom. So um so he answered unto him, and they said unto him, why did Moses then command to give writing of divorce, and to put her away? And he said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. And he said unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away does commit adultery. And Yahushua made it plain and simple. These men read Deuteronomy 24th chapter, if I'm mistaken, and I'm gonna read it here. This is one of the famous rabbis that were teaching Israel at that time, the mainstream, mainstream religion of Israel at that time. It says, Bet Shammai. I don't know how to pronounce that name. And this man right here he was a rabbi, but he opposed what this man was teaching. And I'm just gonna read it. It says, Bet Shammai says a man should not divorce his wife unless he has found her guilty of some unseemly conduct, as it says, because he has found some unseemly thing in her. And like we read in the book of Deuteronomy, the whole misconception was as to how to interpret the word uncleanliness, and we learn from Matthew chapter 19 that Yahushua said uncleanliness means what? What? Adultery or fornication. Okay. And it says that Hillel said that he may divorce her even if she has merely burnt his dish, since it says because he has found some unseemly thing in her. Rabbi Akiva says he may divorce her even if he finds another woman more beautiful than she is, as it says it cometh to pass if she finds no favor in his eyes. And this was one of the madness that was going on in Israel. You had these Pharisees that were misusing the scriptures and causing Israel to go off, And I just wanted to bring out this piece of information so that there's a better understanding as to what's going on. And I forgot where I read it one time, but you also have some of these Pharisees. I'm just gonna read it. His disciples say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, and were eunuchs, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. And Yahushua was saying these things because Yahushua brought out this information, and because I forgot where I read it, but There was also some rabbis also during the Yahushua's time that were teaching that a man, when you reach a certain age, I believe the age was 20 or below, that you were supposed to marry. That if you didn't marry, you were breaking the law of the Most High when He said for us to be fruitful and multiply. You know, and again, one of the madness that they were teaching back there in Israel. So when you read Matthew chapter 5, Matthew chapter 3, Matthew chapter 16, Matthew chapter 23, and I'm going to read this thing, you understand why Yahushua hated these men, you know, why Yahushua didn't, and or why these Pharisees were spoken of in it, were nothing good was ever said of these Pharisees, because this is how they conducted themselves in Yahushua's time, and even in this moment. You have a lot of these um, Hebrew Israelites out there that are bringing out false doctrines. They are causing our people to err. You have some group of people that are telling us that Yahushua didn't perform any miracles, which is completely off. You have people, saying that the Most High didn't deliver us with some. The Most High didn't deliver us out of Egypt with spiritual powers. Saying that we never walked through the Red Sea, and then the Most High never split the Red Sea. All these madness that are going on. And if Yahushua was here right now, he will rebuke these so-called groups as he's doing back then. All right. This is Matthew chapter 3, starting from verse 1. This is John the Baptist. It says, "In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea, and saying, Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, The voice of one crying in the wilderness, Prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his path straight. And the same John had his raiment of camel's hair." Let me get to the point. Let's get to the point. It says, "Then he went out. Then went out to him Jerusalem, and all Judea, and all the regions round about Jordan, and were baptized of him in Jordan, confessing their sins. And when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O ye generation of vipers, who has warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Bring forth therefore fruits meet for the repentance," right? Because these Pharisees, they weren't acting right, and John called them a clutch of vipers for a reason, because that is how they conducted themselves. Their spirit were different from that of the devil. They were liars, they were cheaters, hypocrites, you know, just like some groups are today. Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, it says, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill." And that's when they started accusing Yahushua of not fulfilling the law, but of not following the law. But this was completely untrue. Yahushua was for the law. The law was righteous and perfect. Yahushua said it so. But because Yahushua rejected their add-ons onto the scriptures, they accused Yahushua of being against the law of the Most High, and they put him to death. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever shall therefore break one of these commandments least, whosoever shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So Yahushua was for the law all this while, But these vipers, they lied on him and they put him to death, and the blood of Yahushua is on their hands. For I say unto you, now there are some elect, which those that were in the truth. They previously, some of them did put Yahushua to death, But the difference is that these men repent and they were sorrowful for their action, but these Pharisees, they weren't, They hold no remorse whatsoever. They don't feel as though they have done anything wrong. And when Yahushua comes, all those in that same spirit will have to answer for, you have to deal with Yahushua. It says, for I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. All right. When you read these scriptures, when you read these kind of scriptures, where the Pharisees are, spoken of in a bad light, you know why. You should know why. It wasn't without merit. It was always based on something. You already read this, but I'm just gonna read it again for the title's sake. It says, "Then Yahushua said unto them, take heed, and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees." You know. Then understood they, which is the disciples, how that he bade them not beware of the leaven of the bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. All right. Matthew chapter 23, verse 13, it says, "But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourself, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go therein." And that's ultimately what they were doing, because when you hinder people from doing the right thing, you yourself don't want to do the right thing. But when you teach men to go off, then that's when the problem comes in. You want to die, but you ain't gonna drag the most. You're not gonna drag people with you. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnations. And I believe also, I forgot where I read. Let me see if it's in here. To make one proselyte. And when he is made, ye make him twofold more child of the hell than yourself. Let me see. Uh, um, right, Matthew chapter 23 is just Yahushua, pronouncing judgment on these Pharisees. I'm not gonna read all of it. You brothers can read it for yourself. It's pretty straightforward. It may be in it, but I didn't see it. But there was an account of them, of the Pharisees. They will convince a man. When a man had when a when a man when a man chose to take care of his parents with a substance, these Pharisees will convince them that, nah, man, don't worry about the parents. As long as you give the money to the temple, to the Most High, you're good. And these were kind of the corruptions that were going on with these Pharisees, and Yahushua came to put a stop to that. And like I said, man, that same spirit is going on in these times. So with that, I hope edification goes out to the brothers that are listening. I want to say shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakatham. To the few aquafs that are also listening in truth and sincerity, I also want to say shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakatham. May the blessing of Allah be upon all our houses, man. And the Most High delivers us from the destruction that's coming upon Babylon. And the witchcraft is going crazy in these times that we're living in. And so let's all be aware of that, and also be aware of prophecies, because a lot of things are kicking off. So with that, shalom to all the brothers in the common border.